Hello, my name is Terry Dean Nemmers, and on July 6, 2011, I was maliciously arrested by the lawless thugs at the Pope County Sheriff's Department, and I am now being maliciously prosecuted by the lawless Pope County Attorney's Office. Alright, so today I'm going to give you an update on what's going on with this kangaroo court case. Alright, on August 15th, 2011, I am having my initial appearance. Alright, now this is kind of confusing, seeing so it's August, over a month since this has happened, and I'm having my initial appearance. Okay, but actually it's my third appearance. Alright, and I'll explain that more in detail in my in this video. But you have to understand that it's a kangaroo court, it's a malicious prosecution, so not all the rules apply. In fact, none of the rules apply. In fact, they're trying to break as many rules as they possibly can, violate my rights as much as can, because again, it's a malicious prosecution, it's a kangaroo court. So they're not interested in justice. They're interested in screwing around with people. Okay. So again, it's at August 15th, 2011, initial appearance, Rule 8, 3 p.m. Okay, and it's with District Court Judge Charles Glazerud, Pope County District Court, 130 East Minnesota Avenue, Suite 309, Glenwood, Minnesota 56334. Phone number is 320-634-5222. Alright, now I'm going to give you the phone number again, because this is important, because these assholes down here like to make sure that people can't come to my hearings. In fact, they don't even tell me about my hearings. Alright? They like to change the time, change the the location, cancel hearings without notifying me, and if people want to come and see them, well, they don't give them the right information or tell them to to go to hell, essentially, because they don't want you learning how to kick their ass in court like I do. All right. So, friend or foe, come on down, on August 15th, 2011, 3 p.m. and see the fireworks, because already we've had a switch in the judges here. All right. This is Charles Glazerud. Never seen him before. Have had 3 appearances. This is going to be my I've already had 2 appearances. Never saw this Charles Glazerud once. I've seen another judge, a Judge John Staffschild. Like I said, if you've watched my videos, you know the relationship between myself and old crooked Judge John Staffschild. See, here's his little recusal right here. Alright? After the last hearing, on the 3rd, he dropped the bomb that he was leaving this sinking ship. See? See, you can see right here. Here's the X. I recuse myself for the above entitled case. You're supposed to put the reason why right here. Well, he had a vested interest in the case. He had a financial and personal interest in the case. I'll get into that here just in a little bit. So, you can see it's a kangaroo court, because he's already had 2 appearances with me. See, he knew about this relationship before he even had the case. He shouldn't have been on it to start with. But again, remember, it's a malicious prosecution. Kangaroo court. They're not interested in my rights. They're interested in shoving a conviction down my throat. That's why, we have this. Okay, and this Charles Glazerud, only stupid people think that, well, we got rid of the bad apple, now the good guy's showing up. No, remember, still a malicious prosecution, because I was arrested for what? Legal activities. Not illegal activities, legal activities. The legal activity of filing a criminal complaint and filming that same criminal complaint, which I have done across the street at the Glenwood Police Department. And I've done it at the Benson Police Department, the St. Cloud Police Department, the Alexander Police Department. So it's a legal activity. I know it is. But the only detail is that I've not filed criminal charges against all those other people, but I have against the certain members of the the lawless Pope County Sheriff's Department, right here. Case number 20101745. And, oh, by the way, this is Judge John Staffschild's wife. See, now you're starting to understand how that conflict of interest is there. Alright, we'll get into that in a little bit here, too. But anyhow, we'll go a little bit of background into what happened right after I was arrested. Okay? After I was arrested in lawless Pope County, Minnesota, they transported me up to Douglas County, and I spent the night in the Douglas County jail there. Then I was transported back to the lawless Polk County Courthouse there, okay? And plopped down with this paperwork, because when I was arrested, I was charged with the bogus charges of disorderly conduct and trespass. Yeah, that's one of their favorites down there. Okay, I show up, like I said, on the 7th, and now it's gross misdemeanor stalking and harassing. It's gross misdemeanor trespass. It's misdemeanor trespass, and it's misdemeanor disorderly conduct. Okay? Now, the reason why they decided to enhance these charges, enhance the bogus charges, is because after I was maliciously arrested, I informed the thug who maliciously arrested me that false arrest is a crime in Minnesota, which you can spend up to 1 year in jail, which, of course, he laughed. See, so, obviously, they just adapted, my legitimate charges against him to their bogus charges. I mean, so they're equal. Because I witnessed this thug engaging in misconduct of misconduct of an officer and official, which, of course, is another gross misdemeanor in Minnesota. And then, of course, now he's engaged in perjury in numerous documents. So, I mean, it's 1 year misconduct, 1 year for arrest without authority, and perjury, well, that's 5 years. Okay? 5 years in prison. So, obviously they had to at least boost theirs up to make it, sound comparable to mine. Alright? So, anyhow, I get there, and I got this paperwork so I could see what the bogus charges were. So then they wanted me to sign this form that indicated that I had received a copy of the complaint. Well, geez, the only detail is I hadn't received a copy of the complaint, so I just changed the document like I always do. Of course, that torques them off then, too. They don't like it when you change their documents. So I put a note on there that I'd never received the complaint, and it also said that I was arrested. I just crossed that out and put false arrest on it, and then I signed it void, signed it to threat, duress, and coercion. Threat, duress, and coercion. It's completely void. And I signed it Terry Duress Nemmers, Acts 529. And my middle name is actually Dean. So I just removed that to, because sometimes they'll rip the paper out of your hand if you try and write void, signed under threat, duress, and coercion, which happened down in the Kansas County Jail down there. And so then I have it all right there. That it's that signature is worthless. That isn't a signature. It's just a documentation that I've been threatened and that this document's completely void. Okay, so anyhow, I get that, and after I, put all my little indications on it, give back to the court administrator's office, well then, lo and behold, now the complaint shows up. Okay, then it has all these bogus charges on it. Alright, so then I meet this guy who claims to be the head public defender for the area here. And he introduced himself, and, have a little chat there, and he said that he had heard that I don't like attorneys and I don't have time for attorneys, blah, blah, blah. So we had a little chat, and I explained to him the criminal history of Polk County, how I was maliciously, arrested at my own home. They burglarized my house without a warrant, and of course, he just turned off the ears there. I mean, you could see his eyes were focused on me, but, he was hearing what I was saying, but he wasn't listening to what I was saying, because he didn't really want to hear what I was saying. And so I proceeded to explain about the previous malicious prosecution and, the criminal charges I filed against him, how John Staffscheld's wife had assaulted me at Waterama. None of this, it's just like water off a duck's back. He only wanted to talk about, essentially, try to get me convinced that I needed to do a plea. Okay? So, I mean, I got no time for him. I didn't sign up for him. He can talk as much as he wants. Boom. I got no time for him. Okay, so we go in there, and lo and behold, I get to sit down on the opposite side where I normally sit, and of course they said it was no, I had sat there all the time, but I have pretty good memory, so I remember I sat on the opposite side the last time, sit down, and they, after we sat there a little bit, and then, of course, Judge John Staffscheld comes rolling in, and everyone stands up, and of course, everyone but me, that is, because it's against my, religious beliefs to stand up for some false god there. So, I'm not standing up for that asshole, especially when I know he's a crook. So, we get into this little thing here about how I go into all the details of how the criminal activities I'm involved with. Like, I filed criminal charges against him in Swift County for criminal defamation, case number 10104429. I brought up the fact that his wife assaulted me at Waterama the year before. Okay. Oh, I take that back. Actually, instead of the case number 10104429, I actually forgot about that till the second time I was there. It was actually, I brought up the fact that he had helped burglarize my house without a warrant. Still waiting for that warrant, Timmy. It was back in 2007, you burglarized the place. Where's that warrant, huh? So anyhow, brought that fact up, and plus I brought up the fact that the last time they maliciously prosecuted me, that I tried to hand old Judge Johnny there a flyer on local corruption, which of course again is, those free speech deals. Tried to hand him a flyer, and he crawled in the corner like a little bitch. And I did say he was a little bitch in court, that he crawled in the corner like a little bitch. And that's when all of a sudden he just, and I made some mention about it being a kangaroo court, or I asked if it was a kangaroo court or something like that. Then all of a sudden he decides, we need to have a competency hearing here. A competency hearing. Now you have to remember, I have had 21 years of education. I've been licensed in 2 different states at one time as a doctor, okay? College degree, advanced degrees, and I read law books. I have my own little personal law library like Prosecution Principles. And I also read psychology books like Gaslighting. And this will become significant a little bit later on. But, of course, and I also read the most important law book, which is my, King James 1611. So, he starts to say that, start asking me these ridiculous questions like, where am I? Like I don't know that I'm in the courthouse. Ask me what the date is. I just got on signing it on the form, so I don't know what the date is. And the amazing thing is, prior to this, I just was complaining that they had falsified my address on the complaint. It said Villard, Minnesota 56385, like they had previously, and all sorts of other correspondence I've gotten from that crooked court down there. See, because justice delayed is justice denied, because they send it to some other town, then it takes another day to get to here, and so they didn't really appreciate that being brought up. So, obviously I was competent enough to notice that detail there. It's pretty blatant. So anyhow, and I said, well, geez, Gary told me we're going to the courthouse, so, well, here we're at the courthouse, and Gary told me what the date was, because I didn't know what the date was, so I had to write it on the form, so, and I said, well, geez, and I know your next question is going to be what my age is, so my age is 49, so, I did all those things there, and he said, well, geez, I think there's probable cause to believe that you need to have a competency hearing, and possible civil commitment. Okay, now, the hearing that he was implying was, see if I was loony, okay? The actual hearing that I had was to see if I could add and subtract and knew how to read and understood what the court was all about. Remember, I read Prosecution Principles. I think I have a clue what the court's all about, don't I? Yeah. See, and the other detail is the crook who was sitting at the prosecutor's table, that was Tim Roth. It's, according to Prosecution Principles, it's his job to protect my rights. See? On page 6, Role of the Prosecutor, it says, his client is neither the victim nor the police. Oh, but he'll tell you that he's defending the sheriff's department. Better put, his client base includes more than the victim and the police. The client base includes all the people of the jurisdiction. All the people of the jurisdiction includes the defendant's family.